Kalispell Regional Medical Center to me is one of the finest hospitals I've worked at. There's a great camaraderie within the organization. There's a very strong feeling for patient safety. When a patient is admitted, we have two processes for getting the armband. One is if they're an inpatient and they're going to the unit, they get an armband printed and they get applied right there. When the registration person does the registration. The second process is on the unit. The challenge was that we were using armbands that were not very scannable.
Oh, it was frustrating because you'd have to do things over and over again. You're taking time away from your patient because you're trying to get an armband.
We were looking forward to something that would be more consistent and all the same and a little more convenient for the nurses.
And we knew that for this to be a really safe process, we had to have a good armband. So we began our Positive Patient ID initiative.
Pacific ID brings to the table about 30 years of combined experience in the barcoding industry. And we came out to Kalispell and helped them integrate that system along with the HC100, the Zebra wristband printer.
When we chose Zebra, we all wore a patient wristband for a week to test the durability of the scanning and the barcode that we put on it, and after a week we still were able to scan the wristband.
And the next piece of that was to get the printer and find out how easy was it for the nurses to use the printers. This new process involved clicking on the patient in a report and printing it out, tearing it off, and putting it on the patient.
This is your armband, and I want to put it on you here. And this is.
Well, once the armband is applied to the patient and you want to give that patient a medication, the process is the nurse will ask the patient their name and date of birth as a secondary patient identifier. We'll bring up that patient's medication administration record on the computer and then scan the patient's armband. That's the first big match, because if that doesn't match there, then you get kicked out of the system. You don't have the right medication administration record for the right patient.
Throughout the day, I would need to scan the patient and the medication, make sure it all matches up. I often would have to do a blood sugar, which would include scanning the patient and identifying them each time I come in to give them something or perform a procedure.
It looks to the medication administration record to look for right time, right route, right dose, and then it will alert the nurse if there's something wrong with that. So that's the safety check. And when you think about medication administrations, there's over 139 steps in that process. And many of the steps have a lot of backup. But at that bedside, the only thing between the nurse and the patient is this safety feature. It's the final tool that that nurse has to make sure she gives the right medication to the right patient.
When we made the change to the Zebra bands, at the time of admission, they are automatically printed out when our health unit clerk admits our baby. So now we have 2 ID bands for the mom without scanning. We have 2 ID bands for the baby that include scanning. So once we go up with bedside medication verification, our scanning is in place. We're set and ready to go. We take those bands into the delivery room and the nurse has what she needs to apply to the baby for certain identification.
The best thing I like about the Zebra printer is their size. We call them our little toasters. They're very easy. They fit into the nurse's station well. Admissions, registration. The ease of changing out their cartridges and that they work.
With the new system, the wristband scans in the room every single time when you're trying to scan medicines, glucometer, whatever, it scans every time.
From our perspective, the benefits include automatic printing with all the accurate information that we need for our moms and babies.
Any hospital wants to make sure that their patient is safe. And the wristband that's printed out of the HC100 makes it very easy to do that.
So it was one of the easiest implementations that I've ever done with nurses. They're very successful, 100% of the time print, and I like that.